So, when you think about powerful AI, what comes to mind? Probably these giant data centers, right? Run by massive companies. But what if I told you that a revolution is happening right now? One that could put a truly personal AI right on your own computer. Let's dive in and find out how.
It's a pretty wild idea, isn't it? I mean, to have an AI that works just for you, where your data stays completely private and you are in total control, it might sound like something out of a sci-fi movie, but it's becoming a reality. And it's all thanks to one crucial concept: open source. So what's the secret sauce here? What is the key that unlocks this whole personal AI future? Well, it all comes down to something called the open source philosophy. And the best way to think about it is like a giant collaborative recipe book for technology. See, unlike the closed models, where the inner workings are a total corporate secret, open source AI lays it all out on the table. The instructions, the ingredients, the entire blueprint, it's all shared with the world. And that transparency, that openness, is what makes everything else possible. This is where that recipe book idea really clicks. A company might release a fantastic recipe for a language model. Then a developer can take that recipe, maybe add a new ingredient to make it better at writing code, and then they share their new, improved version back with the whole community. It creates this amazing cycle of constant collaborative improvement. All right, so now that we get the rules of the kitchen, let's meet some of the star chefs and their signature dishes. We're going to take a look at 4 of the most popular and powerful open source models that you can check out right now. First up, we've got Llama, which comes to us from the AI labs over at Meta. You should think of Llama as a brilliant multilingual student. It's always learning, it has this deep understanding of a ton of different languages, and it's backed by the resources of a major research institution. These strengths really show you how Llama combines accessibility with raw power. Because it's such a fantastic general-purpose model backed by serious research, it can help you write an email, summarize a long document, or translate text with really impressive accuracy. It's just a solid, reliable foundation for almost any task you can think of. Next, let's meet Mistral. Now, if Llama is the studious academic, Mistral is the lightning-fast, super efficient coder who works brilliantly, even on a regular laptop. It was designed from the ground up to be lean, mean, and incredibly powerful for its size. And the key word here is efficiency. Mistral basically proves you don't need a massive supercomputer to run a top-tier AI. Its smaller models can run locally on a lot of modern PCs, which makes it a huge favorite for developers who want a private coding assistant, or really anyone who just values speed and performance. Okay, next up is DeepSeek. This model is a little different. It's less of a generalist and more like a highly specialized toolkit, one that's been optimized for efficiency in very specific areas, especially coding. So DeepSeek uses this really clever design called mixture of experts. The easiest way to think about it is like having a whole team of specialized surgeons instead of one family doctor. It calls on the right expert for the specific job, which makes it incredibly fast and efficient for coding tasks. And that's why it's such a huge hit in tech communities. And that brings us to DBRX from Databricks. Think of this one as the logic and reasoning specialist. If you've got a complex problem, a tricky math equation, or a tangled piece of code, DBRX is the expert you call in to figure it out. Just like DeepSeek, DBRX uses that super efficient mixture of experts architecture, but its training was heavily focused on making it an absolute powerhouse in reasoning. It consistently scores right at the top of the charts for tasks that involve logic, math, and complex coding challenges. Okay, let's just take a breath and put it all together. This table is a perfect little cheat sheet. You've got Llama, the all-around student. You have Mistral, the fast coder for your PC. And then you have DeepSeek and DBRX as these powerful, efficient specialists for coding and logic. See, each one has its own unique personality and purpose. Now, having your own AI sounds incredible, doesn't it? But, just like with any powerful tool, it's not just about the benefits. There are some real-world trade-offs and challenges you need to be aware of before you dive in head first. I mean, on the one hand, the advantages are huge. It's often totally free, your data is completely private to you, and you can customize the model for your exact needs. But then there's the other side of the coin. The setup can be technically tricky, you'll probably need a decent computer with a good graphics card, and there's a really important point to make about safety. This is a big one. Unlike commercial AI, which has these massive safety teams, open source models often have a much smaller safety net. So what does that mean? Well, it means the responsibility falls more on you, the user, to use these tools ethically and safely.
Okay, so you've met the models and you understand the trade-offs. Feeling intrigued? Maybe a little intimidated? Don't be. Getting started is actually way easier than you might think, and you definitely don't have to be a command line wizard to do it.
A great place to start is a website called Hugging Face. Just think of it like a giant library and playground for AI models. You can browse what's out there, and you can even try many of them right in your web browser through free demos. No installation required at all. It's the perfect way to experiment and find a model you like before you commit to doing a local setup.
We've journeyed all the way from the core idea of open source to meeting the models and taking our first steps. So I'll leave you with this one question to think about. With this kind of power at your fingertips, what amazing thing would you build first? A writing partner? A personal tutor? The possibilities are now completely yours to imagine.